Hey guys, it's Glenn from the Functional Movement Club, and today we're just going to be going through my go-to shoulder pressing warm-up routine. So the first thing we want to do is we want to grab a foam roller. We're going to roll out our thoracic spine around mid-back. So that's the one that runs sort of from the bottom of the rib cage right up to the base of the neck. And we're just going to roll through base of the ribs up to the base of the neck. We're going to go through 4 or 5 times. We're just going to roll through, just finding any tight or sore spots. Then once we've done that, you might hear a couple cracks or pops. Then we're just going to go in, we're going to add in some motion, so some extension just over that foam roller. So we just want to be popping the hand behind the back of the neck. That'll help support the neck a bit more, so you don't get too much pain through there. And we're just going to bend and flex, or extend and flex over that foam roller. So we want that main pivot point to be underneath the foam roller in the back. We don't want to sort of let those ribs flare up and make too much movement through our lower back. So we're just going to add in 3 to 5 sweeps at the bottom, 3 to 5 sweeps in that middle section, and then 3 to 5 sweeps in that top section. So once you've done that, then we're going to grab a ball and we're just going to release off the posterior shoulder capsule. So from here, you can use your foam roller as a pillow. We're just going to dig in just to sort of the back of your shoulder or back of that armpit area, and we're just going to roll around. You can find any sort of tight or sore spots. Generally you'll find some pretty good ones in here. So then from there, we're just going to add in that little bit of external rotation. So just rolling backwards and forwards. We're just going to sweep through 3 to 5 sweeps on any of those tight spots. So you can even work down into the back of the shoulder. So you'll be getting more into your infraspinatus. Up the top will be more of your teres minor. And they're going to be the 2 ones that generally start to flare up if you're getting any type of shoulder pain. So after you spend about a minute rolling around in there, we're going to jump up, we're going to change sides. So again, we're just going into that back of the shoulder capsule and just digging around, finding any tight or sore spots. And we're just going to get stuck into there. So again, 3 to 5 sweeps, any of those tight or sore spots. If something's particularly giving you grief or you notice it's flaring up over and over again, then you might just want to spend a little bit of extra time warming it up, or sort of just getting in and untacking any of those tight muscles. Again, just working back through the back of the shoulder blade, 3 to 5 swipes. Good. And for the last one, we'll just wiggle in there. 3 to 5 swipes. Perfect. Once we've done them, we can chuck the ball and the foam roller away. Then we're just going to go into some single arm snow angels. So pop the knees up just above the hip height. We're going to start with the arm in front of the chest. And then we're just going to sweep back, sweeping all the way back down to our bum. Coming up. Make sure you're not hitting the box on the way through. And we're just going to do 10 sweeps forwards and back from this position. So we got 4. As we're going through this one, we just want to make sure a couple things. We want to try and keep our hand on the floor the whole time. So obviously if you get any pinching or grabbing, you can sort of you can lift the arm up and come through, but we want to be trying to maintain as much contact with the floor as possible. The other thing we want to do here, like we said, keeping those shoulders up above, but we also just want to be sort of keeping it nice and smooth as possible. If you do find particularly that you do get any like tight or sticky spots, particularly the first couple of times you go through that sort of transition period up here, where you go from hand down to hand up, you might just want to spend a little bit of extra time just rolling through and opening up in those areas. So once we've done one side, we'll go through, we'll do the other. So again, just up in front and rolling back. This time try and avoid the kettlebells behind us, and we'll reach up overhead and coming back. So again, you just want to be spending any time on those tight or sore spots, working on that transition phase, keeping that elbow nice and straight. And then the other thing you want to be doing is just making sure that hand stays flat on the floor as much as possible. The other thing you want to notice as well is just if you have a difference from side to side, if one side feels particularly sore or tight, or you're struggling to keep one side on the ground, then again, you just want to spend a bit more time opening up that side so it's nice and, or a bit more symmetrical when you're going through and you're doing your overhead work. So once we've done 10 of those, we can pop up. We're going to go into a nice little tricep / lat stretch. So you can do it with a box. You can even do this against the wall if you don't sort of want to do it with the weight. It can be a little bit intense to start off with. So we're just going to grab a dumbbell. We're just going to have our shoulders just on the edge of the box. Also our elbows on the edge of the box. And then from there, we're going to let that weight drop down towards the back of the head. And then this will light up either the triceps or the lats, depending on where you sort of feel this the most. And we're just going to hang out here for a minute. If you feel like you want a bit more of a stretch in this position, by all means go for it. We can add in some little pulses. So from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to push the chest down into the floor. So feeling a nice big stretch. We're going to hold that for 5 seconds, and then we can relax, come back out for a sec, push back down, hold for 5, come back out, and you can just do that for your minutes duration. And each time you do it, you just want to be sinking a little bit deeper. You can also add it in with a bit of breath work. So you're going to hold your breath, push down, and then as you breathe out, you relax and you sink a little bit deeper. From there, pulling down, hold your breath, big breath out, relax, and we sink a little deeper. Cool. So once we spend a minute there, we've gotten a pretty good stretch in through our triceps. We're just going to start activating those muscles. So we're going to grab a band. We're going to start off just with some banded face pulls. So from here, you can do it standing, you can do it seated. You're just going to grab a band. We're going to pull the band back towards the face. The thing we want to make sure of here is that our elbows stay below our hands. So then that'll sort of encourage us to use more of your lats and mid traps as opposed to shrugging up here and using a lot of those upper traps. So we're just going to go through, we'll do 10 of those. Good. Then once we've done our 10, we're going to grab the band. We're just going to go into some banded pull-aparts. So again, you can do these standing if you like. I've been having a bit of trouble with the face tracker lately, so I don't want to tempt fate and start moving around too much. Then from there, we're just going to pull that band apart. Again, trying to emphasize that movement in through those mid traps or lower traps. We don't want to be shrugging up here and activating those upper traps. They're only going to work out during majority of our day. So once we've done 10 of those banded pull parts, we're just going to do 10 dislocates. So pulling the band back overhead, creating tension. You can shrug up and actively pull down if you like. If that's enough of a stretch, you can just sort of roll through that range of motion. So again, we just want to be rocking through about 10 of these. Just enough to get the blood flow in, start to get it loosened. If you want towards the end of your reps, you can actually put a bit more pressure on the band and bring the hands in a little bit closer. Then it's time to start getting into our press patterning. So we're just going to grab the foam roller, we're going to go through, we're going to pop foam roller up on the wall, then from there we're actively going to pull our elbow inside of our, elbow inside of the wrist. Then from there, we're just going to press that hand into the wall. So we're just going to go through, pressing up, pressing that elbow into the wall. And we're going to do about 6 to 8 repetitions here. You'll know when you're hitting that sweet spot because it's going to start to give you a nice big burn as you go through the back of the shoulder. If we sort of go through, get your wrist watch out of the way, then from there, pressing up, coming back down, and down, and up, down, and up. we want to make sure that when we're doing this, we're not sort of letting that shoulder pop up towards the ear. We want to be keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed, pulling almost down through the lats to initiate the movement, and then pressing up from there. And we're going to do a couple sets of 6 to 8, just because we're not doing as many reps in this position. So we still want to accumulate time under tension. We want to get that motor pattern or that press patterning, maintaining external rotation working pretty well for us. So from here, another couple, nice slow controlled, to get a sensation for that movement. The other thing I like to cue on this is popping the hand on top of the ribs. So that'll make sure that when you're pressing up overhead, if you're particularly tight in this range of motion, that you're not losing that tension through your trunk. So what we find in clinic is people tend to sort of try and make up for motion. They feel like it's more of a range of motion drill than a patterning drill, and they want to lose that rib cage connection. So you can just pop that hand on the ribs. That helps keep everything nice and stable, helps isolate that press through the back of the shoulders. Then, now that we've warmed up your press patterning, we've gotten that range of motion, it's time to go through and do some pressing. So you want to start adding some load. So for this one, we're just going to go bottom up kettlebell, working on a bit of stability. We're just going to press up overhead, coming back down. So you want to choose a moderate weight that you can sort of control pretty comfortably, and we just want to be going through, we just want to be doing 10 reps of each side. Yeah. So making sure nice and controlled, we want to be sort of thinking about what we've done with the foam roller, that we're keeping that shoulder external rotation, we're keeping tension through that shoulder girdle, the shoulder staying relatively relaxed, so we're not pushing shoulder up and losing that space between our shoulder and our ear, but we want to be maintaining that space, creating tension sort of through your lats, and making sure that we're not closing down that gap between the shoulder and the ear. The final thing we also want to make sure of is that when we go press up overhead, that we're not losing control of that kettlebell. So that should be a nice little shoulder warm-up routine. Give it a go. Let us know how you find it. If you're liking these videos, don't forget to subscribe to our page, or leave us a little comment and let us know any other warm-up routines you'd like to go through.